Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what, a lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's gonna get what they finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
So the inevitable finally caught up with the problem child. Everyone kept asking what would go down when the flashy social media sensation met an actual heavyweight monster. December 19th gave us a brutal answer that nobody wanted to see. This wasn't your typical boxing loss. This was a jaw-destroying wake-up call that landed Jake Paul flat on his back with his mouth wired completely shut.
What's up, guys? The day after the fight. Got out of surgery a few hours ago. They put a plate in my jaw, wired it up. Hurts to talk, so I'm gonna keep it short. Took the L, respect to the men across from me.
The spectacle is over now. No more big talk, no more manufactured drama, no more inflated ticket sales. What's left is a harsh lesson about what happens when reality hits. Dana White just went public with his thoughts, and his words are creating chaos across the entire fighting world. Can Jake ever recover from this humiliation?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis.
Who do you got?
Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you got?
Round 6 was meant to prove Jake Paul had finally arrived as a legitimate fighter. Instead, it became the exact moment his entire persona crumbled. Anthony Joshua connected with a right cross at 1:31 that was surgical in its precision and devastating in its impact. The punch didn't just stop the fight. It literally broke Paul's face into pieces. After surviving 5 full rounds and getting dropped 4 separate times, Jake ran into the one obstacle he couldn't overcome with clever marketing. When his body hit the mat, all that red-hot swagger got replaced by the harsh truth of a completely shattered jawbone. This wasn't just a defeat. Joshua physically demolished someone who'd been treating this like another content opportunity right up until the lights went out.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things, 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026, maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
What happened at the medical center reads like a nightmare scenario. The surgical team at Miami University Hospital worked through the night, reconstructing his demolished face, installing 2 separate titanium plates on both sides just to hold everything in place. The destruction was so complete that multiple teeth couldn't be saved, leaving Jake stuck with nothing but liquids for months ahead. His X-ray images making rounds online reveal a jawbone completely severed. a permanent reminder of a fight that medical professionals are saying should never have gotten approval. Even while dealing with excruciating pain, Jake's social media posts about wanting Canelo next week sound more like someone desperately trying to stay in the headlines than genuine fighting spirit.
When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have no,
Jake
I
Paul's-
have love for Jake too. I don't
Wait,
have,
yo,
I don't know when a
Jake Paul's
fight's happening. I
fights
really
are all
don't.
the same. He fights older people that are smaller. It's all the same shit.
Am I not remembering correctly? Didn't Jake ask if you could make a amends between them?
I don't think it's ready for that yet.
Well, it's not that I don't.
Yeah.
Dana White's response was pure vindication wrapped in zero sympathy. The UFC boss has spent years trashing this whole influencer boxing circus as complete garbage, and this outcome proved every single point he'd been making. White came out swinging, explaining that real combat sports have skill levels that can't be faked no matter how many followers you have. He'd been saying for months that people were only buying tickets hoping to watch Jake get destroyed, and seeing the YouTube star rolled into emergency surgery just confirmed his theory that this matchup was completely insane from day one. For Dana, this result wasn't shocking or tragic. It was exactly what happens when someone tries to play in a league they don't belong in.
Paul, what'd you think of the fight?
Oh, God. I think the gig is up. I'm just tired of Jake Paul as a boxer. I think he's done a fantastic job. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I just don't know how many more times Netflix is going to go to bat for him. But I think they will one more time because, you know, the axiom is basically if you draw money, you're going to be getting chance after chance until you're not drawing money. And then you'll still get a couple more chances after that because he did draw money. And that's kind of where he's at right now. You know, he's going to draw with Tyson. He's going to draw on this one. And so he's going to get a couple of more chances, you know, with Netflix. And they'll pay that, you know, good for him. They'll pay that money. But, man, these are, you know, this was just a bad fight. And made boxing look bad. Made boxing look bad in many ways. You know, especially it just was a circus, and the guy, you know, going for takedowns, and the ref's not doing anything. I thought the ref was terrible. Thought Joshua, you know, was not good. Hurt himself, and then he even admitted it. And Jake was just out there not trying to win a boxing match. He was trying to survive and get the moral victory so he can go out there and be, you know, oh, you know, I lasted 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And he survived 6 rounds with him.
He survived all right.
But I
He
mean,
never quit.
The size difference on fight night was genuinely disturbing to witness. Joshua walked in at a massive 243 pounds of pure muscle, looking like the 2-time champion he is, while Paul seemed almost tiny at 216 pounds. Boxing analysts are describing the whole thing as a cartoon, where Jake spent most of his time literally running away and grabbing onto Joshua just to avoid getting finished. The Florida State Athletic Commission is facing serious heat right now, with respected voices like Gareth Davies calling their decision to approve this fight completely reckless. When you let an amateur step in with one of the planet's most dangerous knockout artists, you're not creating entertainment, you're creating a medical emergency.
He appeared to carry Jake Paul for a while, but told me afterwards that he could see that Jake Paul was being evasive. I spoke to him personally, and he decided just to slowly marinate Jake Paul. Obviously hit him with a huge right hand midway through the 6th round to end the bout. Broke Jake Paul's jaw. He ended up in the hospital, kind of rearranged his teeth a little as well, but was very clear afterwards to give great praise to the bravery and courage of Jake Paul that everybody saw. I mean, delusionally optimistic he really is. Jake Paul should go and fight YouTubers and influencers now. I don't think this kind of bout should be sanctioned again. But Joshua, of course, now wants to fight Tyson Fury. He's called him out, and I hope we get that fight in 2026 after both of them have had warm-ups. I understand Joshua will have a warm-up fight in Riyadh late in February 2026. It's all done here. It's over. It's a one and done. I hope it doesn't happen again.
The Paul family damage control has been working overtime since the disaster. Logan Paul got emotional defending his younger brother, insisting Jake actually won 4 rounds before getting shut off. He's praising Jake's courage for continuing to fight with a broken face, but the combat sports world isn't impressed by the tough guy narrative. Respected figures like Daniel Cormier and Carl Frosch have been absolutely ruthless, suggesting Joshua was deliberately carrying Jake through the later rounds just to give Netflix subscribers some value before putting him to sleep. Frosch specifically called the entire event embarrassing, arguing it hurt boxing's reputation more than it helped Jake's career prospects.
Jake Paul was just on pure survival mode from round 1 right through to round 6. I don't know if he's got a moral victory going 6 rounds. Maybe he has. People might give him credit for going 6 rounds, but he got in there and just survived. He just went in there and ran like a chicken from round 1 right through to round 6 when he got splattered. And it's like, it's just, you can't really justify what he's done, because this is supposed to be a professional sanctioned boxing match, and I think it brings the integrity of the sport down when somebody like AJ, who's a 2-time world champion, can't get in there and just completely dismiss somebody like Jake Paul, who I've said for ages can't fight. He's not a professional boxer. It's just AJ following him around, touching him to the shoulder. Round 1 came and went. Round 2 was much of the same, bit slow. I think AJ got caught with an overhand right at one stage, but sometimes when you're out in the rain, you're going to get wet. It was following him around, taking his eye off the ball, probably a bit undermotivated, thinking, what's this guy doing that's in front of me? Jake Paul was just running left to right, ducking low, falling on the floor, throwing a couple of wild swings, and one did get through, but it just bounced off AJ's chin like water off a duck's back. It was nothing. And then the only reason Anthony Joshua got the fight finished, the sad thing is, I think if Jake Paul was fit enough and he had the energy and the engine, which he hasn't got, because he's not a professional athlete. He goes in the gym every day and he trains and he's fit and he trains like a pro. That don't make you a professional fighter. What makes you a professional fighter is building yourself up through the ranking system, earning your position in the professional sport. And
Conor McGregor's pre-fight predictions are looking scary accurate right now. Before the opening bell, McGregor posted that this would be easy work for Anthony Joshua, then suggested Jake would never be the same person after taking that kind of punishment. He understood something Jake didn't. Getting hit clean by a heavyweight champion doesn't just leave marks, it fundamentally changes how your body works. While Jake recovers in his hospital bed, unable to chew food and facing months of physical therapy, the real question becomes whether any amount of money was worth having permanent metal installed in your skull.
6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say, the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best sense of the word. And I'm not going to try and hear any Jake Paul slander today on the show. Guys, nope. He got in the ring with a former Olympic gold medalist and heavyweight champion of the world, who's 37, like he's not like 45 years old. He's still fighting, guys. Like, yeah, Dubois knocked him out. He was in that fight with Dubois. Yeah. He was a top heavyweight. Yes. Yeah, Usyk beating him a couple times. Usyk, one of the all-time great fighters. And those were competitive fights. Yes. That Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul gave up enormous size, experience, talent, everything. And guys, let me tell you something. If all of us right now, you've been retired how many years? 10 years? I don't think combined, including you, Malik, we get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua is coming to hurt you, which he was, and Jake Paul was tackling his legs. He was trying to use takedowns. He was exhausted. Yes. He was running. Yeah! Are you joking? No kidding! Yes. He's trying not to get killed. Yes. And by the way, I know it was a lot like William Skull and Canelo Alvarez, where Skull was kind of outlanding Canelo upstairs, but there was nothing on the shots. But the fact is, actually, Jake Paul landed more clean punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing. Yes. And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis, or even trying to make that fight. Because what Jake is demonstrating here is, okay, everybody, you're accusing me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson, or a tiny Tank Davis, or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in. Yep.
The internet reaction has been split between people saying they saw this coming and genuine worry about fighter safety moving forward. Reddit and Twitter are flooded with footage of that final devastating shot, with many people pointing out the referee should have stopped things much earlier. The hashtags are dominated by clips showing just how outclassed Jake really was. Even with Titanium holding his face together, the problem child now has to make a choice. Does he go back to fighting people his own size with some humility, or does he keep chasing these dangerous David versus Goliath scenarios until something even more catastrophic happens?
But in the 6th round, you could just tell that this fight was over. You knew that Anthony Joshua was going to eventually land something that hurt Jake Paul. And you know how you know the boxing world wanted it to be brutal? Because Rosendo was sitting here and he goes, I hope he gets knocked out bad. He didn't want him to get TKO'd. They wanted Paul to get absolutely destroyed. And honestly, that right hand, oh my God, he took all of that right hand. You could see in his face, he was like, okay, now I understand boxing. Now I understand, like, at its worst, what boxing can be. Because he got hit clean by one of the biggest punchers, acclaimed, a lot of accolades, world champion heavyweight, and he went down and didn't get up. And honestly, I was hoping he didn't get up because it was only going to get worse. I thought Francis should have stayed down when Joshua hurt him bad. But a lot of times fighters just don't really want to give up on themselves, and that's why they get hurt worse. But it was exactly what it needed to be tonight for this fight and for this fight. It was fun. It was crazy at times with the wrestling and all the grabbing and the clenching. The referee saying the fans didn't pay for this shit, all the dirty tactics. And it ended in the way that it should.
December 19th taught everyone a lesson about shortcuts and consequences. Anthony Joshua didn't just win another fight. He demonstrated that boxing isn't about social media metrics or subscriber counts. It's about the brutal science of applied force. Jake Paul might have banked $100 million from the gate receipts, but he's currently discovering that no amount of wealth can make a liquid diet feel like success. This wasn't just a knockout punch. It was the violent conclusion of a very loud, very expensive social experiment that left its main subject broken in every possible way.
Big fair play to Jake Paul. Like, Jake Paul done what anyone would do if they stepped in the ring with an experienced fighter that they know they can't compete with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if me and you was to spar, if you wanna not get KO'd immediately, you don't stand in the middle and engage with me. Why would you do that?
I'll take my chances, to be fair.
Fair enough. No, hugging.
Make it ugly as you can.
What else are you supposed to do? You're clearly not going to defeat me if you decide to box me. So you have to use something else. That's what Jake done. He done it for as long as he could. He realized AJ's strong. I'm not going to battle with him in the clinch. I'm just going to drop to the ground. As I've said, my guy, that referee, he refereed Jake and Neeson Kip. He knows that ref. He thought that ref would allow him. In his mind, you see, when you're the A side and you ain't seen the dirty side of boxing, you think that everything and everyone around it's in your favor. He thought that referee was going to let him keep falling, pick him up, just dust off his gloves, and continue the fight. When the referee said to him, bro, stop doing that, he was thinking, oh my God, even the ref that knows me, yeah, is on me. AJ's on me, my corner's on me, the ref's on me, I'm getting tired, this guy's strong. Like, that is literally what happened. But who could blame him though? Like, I rate Jake for doing what he done tonight. Like, he lasted for as long as he could, and that was the mission.
This Miami catastrophe should serve as a warning shot for the entire influencer boxing movement. Fighting washed-up mixed martial artists or fellow content creators is one thing, but stepping into the ring with an active, elite-level heavyweight is something completely different. Jake Paul's educational experience has left him with a face full of surgical hardware and a career that desperately needs some honest evaluation. Will this be the moment the problem child finally learns some respect, or just the most costly dental work in combat sports history? Whatever happens next, unusual quiet coming from Team Paul lately says more than any of their pre-fight promotion ever could. What's your take on this whole situation? Can Jake Paul possibly come back from this kind of destruction? Who do you think he should face if he ever fights again? Drop your thoughts below. Thanks for watching today's breakdown. If this content hit different, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you catch everything we drop. Make sure you share your reactions in the comments section. We'll see you in the next one.